Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Kugan Cassius, and some very special guests. Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher, and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
you get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.
This is Omar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Well, after 2 or 3 months of just doing the same Zoom with you every time, saying there's no news, we get in the last week so many announcements. It's been so much work recently, but it's what we wanted with Usyk, Dubois, Joshua White, two fights to look forward to in August. We've also got now officially Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia, October 28th. Is that one that we're looking forward to or not, Gareth?
Well, I mean, it's an event, isn't it? That's what it is. It's not meaningful. It's a combat sports razzmatazz event. They're calling it the baddest man on the planet, but it's still the Game of Thrones going on. I mean, you did a very good job of stirring it up between. You're back already in your room from Poland. You did a very good job of stirring it up between Usyk and Fury yesterday, getting some strong reactions there. With Alexander Krasiuk and all those things going on. But again, that's what I'm saying. It's the movement of the Game of Thrones. As you say, in the last 2 weeks, Zhili Zhang, Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois and Usyk, Joshua and White, a lot of us were at the press conference yesterday for that, and now Fury and Ngannou. Fury and Ngannou belongs in a different bracket. Of course, the fight we all want to see is Fury against Usyk. But the fact that Queensberry and Top Rank, because Top Rank has announced it as well, so they're involved, have gone with gimmick promotions. The Saudi season is called, isn't it? The Riyadh season, rather. Part of the government, another group that runs events in Saudi, but in Riyadh. It's almost like rival promoters in Saudi Arabia now. Which I think, again, is stacking up towards the giant dust-up on the dunes, which looks like early next year if Usyk and Fury come through their challenges. The fact that Fury's fighting Ngannou in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia, is quite significant, I think, in terms of where all those big fights are headed right now. And the fact it's there makes me feel like it's more likely we're going to see Usyk and Fury next year, early next year over there, because the Saudi government will want it. There's no question about that. They want the biggest fight on earth, and that is the biggest fight. So, however much disappointment we're tinged with that Fury's fighting Ngannou, he should have fought Fury. Fury and Usyk should have fought already. Both of them. They should have just fought already. But there's the draw of things going on over there, and all these things are happening for a reason. But I've also said this week that I really applaud Anthony Joshua for taking the Dillian White fight. Massive respect to him for doing that. Massive. I'd like to have seen Tyson Fury in with Frank Sanchez or Arslanbek Makhmudov this year. But he wants to fight Ngannou. They want to do different events. They want to do different things. You can't begrudge him that. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But I think a lot of people will still watch it. And it's garnered a lot of traction just in the first 2 or 3 hours that it's been announced.
Well, yeah, so you referred to it there, and this was what Frank Warren was clearly referring to when he's saying this is going to be a game changer. It wasn't the fact that it was Fury and Ngannou, it's the fact that this is going to be in Saudi Arabia. We expected it probably to be at Wembley or Tottenham.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they put in their press release, Queensberry and Top Rank, about the people putting this fight on, the chairman of the board of the General Entertainment Authority and head of Riyadh season, His Excellency. So, that's an interesting dynamic that possibly Tyson Fury's done a deal with them and is going to have future fights with them in Saudi Arabia moving forward.
Potentially, yes. I mean, I think the key things in this clearly that we need to point out are there's no way his WBC belt can be on the line. That's just not viable. If it is, it's a disgrace.
Well, it isn't an exhibition, just to make this clear with
No,
Ngannou.
it's not. I was about to say it's 10-point Moss system, 10 rounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they both threatened in their press release quotes today to go for it. If Fury doesn't school Ngannou, I'll be very, very surprised. But Ngannou's, they build it, haven't they? I say the baddest man on the planet with the best chin in heavyweight boxing, Fury, against the biggest punch in Francis Ngannou. They're looking at those as the selling points, the baddest man on the planet. No, it's not no knockdowns, and it's an exhibition in a sense, but they're going for it. It's an exhibition of combat sports. It's an MMA fighter, the former UFC heavyweight champion, who's now left the UFC, who didn't earn a lot, who'll probably earn, I don't know, but I'm guesstimating. I reckon he's probably going to earn 10 million bucks for this, or somewhere in that region. Fury's probably earning a very large sum as well. I don't know what the sum is, by the way. But, Fury ought to be able to just school him in a boxing match. And that's what I think will happen.
So, let's put the two scenarios to the forefront then. Let's say the WBC title was not on the line, and they just do this fight.
You cannot see the WBC title being.
No, I don't see the WBC sanctioning it for his world title belt. However, I can see the WBC creating
a belt. Yeah, maybe. That's a very good point.
But he hasn't got a mandatory.
They did Mayweather and McGregor, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. The WBC have made up a few belts, if we're being honest, but that he hasn't got a mandatory. Whether he should have a mandatory on him, because his last one was April 2022. Did he?
He's got till December for a mandatory, isn't he?
He's got till December, so really, it's actually irrelevant because the belt.
It's a meaningless fight in the boxing world, but it's just a combat sports event. It's part of the modern circus. It's part of what's going on. But Muhammad Ali fought Inoki, didn't he? In Japan. Having said that, it was very late on in his career, and it wasn't during the reign of world championships. Let me make this clear. I'd much rather, like every boxing fan out there and every boxing observer, see him fighting Usyk and then Joshua, or Joshua and Usyk. Those are the two opponents I would like to see Tyson Fury in with. This is not meaningful in that sense. It's meaningful in terms of being an event. And as you say, a game changer that they've signed a deal with Riyadh season. That's a game changer, definitely, because it means that two promotional bodies from Saudi Arabia are now involved in boxing. And you could just see them coming together at the apex for that undisputed title next year. Maybe there is a plan in place that Eddie Hearn maybe knew about, that Alexander Usyk's people, Alexander Krassyuk, knew about, that Frank Warren and Bob Arum knew about the whole time, that they knew that this build was happening. I don't know that, but it all makes sense. It's all fitting together. And as we've said, week after week, the board will unfreeze eventually and the pieces will move in the chess game. And now they're all moving. A lot of people, I haven't checked social media, a lot of people will be unhappy with Tyson Fury fighting Ngannou. But it's promotionally, it's a really big event.
Yeah, I agree. No, sorry, I was just reading Igor's Klimas has just put something out, kind of slating the event between Fury and Ngannou. That just grabbed my attention. But get your reaction maybe to
what's Egis saying? What's Egis saying?
I saw Egis yesterday. We'll see him on Thursday at the presser for Usyk Dubois, the London leg.
Yeah, that's right.
He quoted the announcement and said, "This is the biggest joke ever in boxing. I'm sorry, it's not boxing, it's circus. This is Tyson Fury from becoming a positive person in boxing to a negative joker." Yeah.
Well, that's his opinion. That's absolutely fine. If that's how he feels, that's fine. But at the end of the day, at the end of this Game of Thrones, we need to see the number one and number two heavyweights, the guy that holds 3 belts, the guy that holds 1 belt, meet for all the belts. We need to see it. I think we will. Otherwise, there's something lacking from the era, in my view.
Just before we close off, obviously we had 2 major press conferences yesterday. One in London, one in Warsaw. Get your reaction to both. What did you make of perhaps Dubois' demeanour around Alexander Usyk yesterday, and what did you make of Dylan White and Eddie Hearn going at it a little bit?
Well, Warsaw, you're in Warsaw, weren't you? Yeah.
Yesterday I was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the press conference was Warsaw. I thought Daniel Dubois looked a little bit nervous, but he's got a big fight ahead of him. He's a shy fellow in lots of ways, anyway. Usyk was very strong mentally in his face. It's a very tough fight for Daniel Dubois. Just pleased to see that get confirmed, and we know it's happening. It's great for Ukraine. It's great for the Ukrainian people. It's a great opportunity for Daniel Dubois. It's a very hard fight for him. And in London, in West London, these two guys, almost 8 years on from their ding-dong when they were young, raw novices, in a way, and they're that bloodletting for 7 rounds in a great fight. They're older, wiser, more mature prize fighters now. They've both taken their lumps. They both had 3 losses. And they were both cool, calm, and collected. Dillian cracked a few great jokes about Eddie Hearn, being on Joshua's nuts.
Eddie's response was quite good and sharp, though.
It was. It was a really good day. We were there for 4 or 5 hours with them. Both men were very impressive. Dillian's really up for this. Anthony Joshua is really enjoying still being a student of the game.
Once again, though, saying he was very honest and said, it's just about the money. This is why he's taking this fight over perhaps someone else.
Yeah, but he's also risking a huge amount of money as well, taking this fight in a fight that Dillian White will be up for, which it'll be a really good fight. That both men have got weaknesses and strengths, and it's no foregone conclusion for either of them. It's an intriguing fight at this stage in their careers, championship of each other, and I'm really looking forward to both being around it and working on it on the night.
Well, I'll see you on Thursday for the presser.
See you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday for Usyk Dubois second press conference. Yeah, thank you very much, Gareth, and see you then.
Pleasure, Umar, as always.
You a bit tired?
No, I've had a lot on today with this breaking, and I'm still in the middle of a morass of work.
A morass of work. That's a
morass
word.
Of work. Yeah.
All right, Gareth, let you go. Bye.
All right, bud. Always a pleasure. Cheers.
Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Kugan Cassius, and some very special guests. Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher, and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
You get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.